Hello my beautiful and amazing people, badass Dark Zone agents, Uncle, which are in the building with perhaps one of the best skill builds in the game right now. I will show you how you can finally utilize new exotic chess piece which will give us some crit damage, and armor repair / regen when we have companions or skills around, and this paired up with capacitor, exotic assault rifle, are pure magic. This combo is made in heaven. Pure synergy, destruction, skill damage, survivability, pretty much anything you would want in this one build. And spoiler alert, we will not use any companions whatsoever, because those suck. Instead, I would rather encourage you to use Golden Bullet Global Event. With this event, legendaries will feel extremely easy. So if that sounds interesting to you, welcome to my channel. Hit that like, smash that sub, or leave a hateful comment. It really depends on your preference. But in this one, we're gonna use new exotic chess piece, which you can fairly quickly unlock by playing or completing your season pass level 29, I think, and you can get this exotic chess piece. And it's kinda on the first sight is kinda meh, and it is still kinda meh. But if you will pair it up with capacitor and some skills like assault turret and striker drone, you can have some really good synergies. Throw in the mix some named items like Jarl's named mask, Picar's named holster, and you can start mayhem. Again, you can use the golden bullet global event to increase your DPS output as well, and pretty much be unstoppable. And in general, I think this season skill builds are kinda back in business. Previously, DPS sets were the best thing or way go about the business in Division 2, but with this Unity update, damage sometimes can be tricky. Incoming damage is still a lot to take on, and skill builds can actually make your life pretty easy. But before we get to the build itself, quick word from the sponsor, Diving.net. If you don't have enough time or good teammates but you still want to have all the best items in your game, then Diving.net is set for you. They have absolutely amazing team on consoles. They will complete your order super quick. If you will use my promo code RBD for RBD, you will receive 15% discount on absolutely all service. Amazing deal, especially when right now they have some crazy sales going on, so definitely check these guys out. And if you have any questions, don't hesitate to drop your comment down below in the comment section or contact the operator, and the rest will be the history. But now let's get back to this legendary skill build and why I think it could be one of the best skill builds in the game. First of all, you have a lot of weapon damage. Capacitor will give us 7.5% additional weapon damage per each skill tier, 60% skill damage boost when fully stacked, and those are one of the best buffs, especially for skill builds. Yeah, you can use test subject or in sync in general, but those buffs will not cut it. For specialization, here we're gonna use technician specialization. It's kind of self-explanatory because we will gain my beautiful bastard additional skill tier. We will get linked laser point attachment, artificial hive, disrupt grenades, which are really good at legendary strongholds. So, and you can always modify your specialization towards more healing or skill damage. Just to make sure you're applying correct perks at your skill tree at White House. So for the weapons, I'm using capacitor obviously as my main weapon here. With capacitor, in terms of my numbers, I'm sitting really well over 50% crit chance. I have 140% crit damage, I have 80 plus headshot damage, I have health damage to armor, I have a lot of damage multiplicative buckets, which will help me a lot to deal more damage. Why it's so important? For example, health damage will work with our skills as well. So if enemies will have only health, my skills will deal more damage. really nice synergy. And I'm using 2 pieces from Jarl's set, and that's of course the backpack and named Jarl's mask, which will add 14% health damage. 2-piece brand set bonus from Jarl's set itself will provide me with hazard protection and 10% additional weapon damage, but you can switch some things here easily, and I will explain what you want, what you can switch and what you will gain from those tweaks. Second weapon, honestly, in this setup can be whatever you want. I would recommend you to use weapon with future perfection to proc overcharge. That for skill build is kinda must have. Future perfection can be a really easy talent to be used here. Second option, obviously, in sync. For example, Lexington with future perfection or Lexington with in sync will work just fine. For pistol, quick step pistol to run faster. Again, kinda self-explanatory, and this pistol is already kinda best in slot for many builds now. For the gear, I'm using new exotic chest piece, which will allow me to receive some crit damage and healing from companions. In this case, my companions will be skills. I'm using assault turret and drone as my buddies, because the real companions in this game suck. Excuse me for my language, they suck balls. It is what it is. Yes, that's a cool new feature on the surface, but when we go in depth, they are kind of pointless. On paper that sounded cool, but it lacks customization. I would rather use my gear pieces on those companions. I want to equip some maybe apparel items on them to make them really cool and make my army. Maybe allow us to use more than one companion. Like let us fill out full party. For example, 3 companions, full party. Let's make our own army, and that would make game way more fun. But in this state, I understand technical limitations, yada. But again, from other hand, if you have those technical limitations, please don't add shit that doesn't work properly or has limits and is really undercooked. So I rather see some cool features which are fully fleshed out and optimized for current specs and hardware. So with that out of the way, let's dive into this build again. For backpack, I'm using Bloodsucker talent. Why? Because skill kills will proc Bloodsucker as well, and that will make us pretty much invincible. In mod slots, I'm using crit chance or crit damage. Once you reach 50% crit chance, I would recommend you to invest everything in crit damage. If you don't want to use crit damage mods, you can always use protection from elite mods. Next thing, I'm using Turmo Cheshka knee pads, but you can take out 2 pieces from your set and add Pelicites 1 piece for additional survivability. It will add 10% armor on kill, just from 1 kill. And you can add Walken and Harris or Sombra piece for 5% weapon damage or crit damage boost. So you have a couple options here, or even Bellstone Armory for additional armor regen. So you have a couple ways how to tweak this build to fit your playstyle. And this is simply template, so do you. Bye.